In this video, I have the Megalodon showcase for Jurassic World Evolution 3. But later today, we also have a new batch of dinosaurs hatching in the database. I can't say anything yet, but if you don't want to miss out on any of the exciting reveals coming soon, subscribe to the channel.
Introducing the Megalodon, the apex predator of the prehistoric oceans. Now reborn in your park's lagoon. This colossal mackerel shark commands attention with bone-crushing jaws and a size that dwarfs even the mosasaur. Megalodons tend to be solitary and territorial, so ensure large enclosures and minimize competition to keep them at ease. Be sure to carefully monitor their well-being. These giants demand constant attention, but offer unmatched spectacle. Powerful, primeval, unrivaled. The Megalodon truly brings prehistoric legends back to life.
The Megalodon showcase is bittersweet for me. Megalodon is my favorite lagoon creature for Jurassic World Evolution 2. I lost my mind when it got added in the final DLC, so I definitely like seeing it get its own dinosaur showcase for the new game. But just like with Tropiognathus last time, it's a species we already knew about, and again, not a brand new species for the game, meaning we are still at only 3 new species in the base game, not counting the deluxe edition. All that being said, I do think it's awesome that we get Megalodon in the base game this time around, because it was a DLC add-on last time. It definitely disproves the doomsday theory that Frontier is cutting all the most popular species to resell to us later. Also, Megalodon is part of a pretty nicely rounded lagoon selection for the base game. If they add Archelon as well, I'll be really happy, and if they add a new lagoon species on top of that, well then I'll consider myself spoiled. I did scour the background looking for hints at another lagoon species reveal, but alas. But what else can we learn from this species showcase? Well, the first thing I want to point out is that the game has entered the beta phase of development. This is the first time we're seeing beta in-game footage, and it makes sense that the game is at that point now, because of course next week there is the early preview event in London, where some lucky folks, myself included, get to play the game ahead of launch. Consider subscribing to the channel so I can share that early gameplay experience with you. Other than that, it's really small things. We see the return of the cages and the sunken boats to place in our lagoons. Of course, the big change to how our lagoons look and how we can decorate them is that we can use the modular building tool to construct these grand underwater rock formations, and they do really make a huge difference to fill the void. There is a shot in here that makes me wonder if we'll also be able to raise up the terrain. You can see the Megalodon skimming an edge here with seagrass growing on top. Is this our first clue that terrain can be raised in the lagoon, allowing us to vary the water depth? Or, and I do think this is more likely, is this just the edge of a rock formation that they built, and is the grass that we're seeing not from a foliage brush, but instead just individually placeable foliage that they placed on top of the rock with the modular building gizmo? Again, I think the latter is more likely, but let me know in a comment down below what you think. I do think that as much of an improvement as it is that we can build these rocky structures underwater, the lagoons would really benefit from more customization, so the terrain tool raising the seafloor would be a nice feature. As per usual, I really struggle to see the sexual dimorphism between the male and female. It's very subtle. That's not a problem for me. The only problem is I just don't notice it. I think I am seeing a slight pattern change, but Megalodon already had 2 very different looking patterns in Jurassic World Evolution 2 as well. The babies are amazing though, I can tell that much. I love their chubby looking noses and their big eyes, but then those scary teeth that remind you, oh yeah, this baby is the size of a great white shark and could tear me to pieces. Still though, boop. By the way, a question I've seen a lot is, how are lagoon nests supposed to work with lagoon animals like Megalodon that would have given live birth? Well, I think the lagoon nests aren't for eggs. I don't think they're nests in a strict term, and we won't be seeing any eggs in them like we do with the land nests. I think the adult goes into the kelp, gives birth to young, similar to a dinosaur laying eggs in a regular nest, but then instead of waiting for the eggs to hatch, we'll have to wait for the infants to be old enough to leave the protection of the kelp forest. I think that's how it's gonna work. I will be back in just a couple of hours with those new database reveals. Thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and until next time, stay tuned for more.